Alrighty, so we are going to start with the writing topic and the plan. Okay, I always say you have to plan for task 2. It's very important to get all your ideas down on paper. That way you don't have to do any thinking later on. It's just putting it into nice words. So imagine that, and this is one of the topics from previous IELTS tests, okay? So employers sometimes ask people applying for jobs for personal information such as their hobbies and interests and whether they are married or single. Some people say that this information may be relevant and useful. Others disagree. Discuss both views and give your opinion. So this is what I was telling you about. This is the hardest question because it says give both views and your opinion, right? So you're going to have to write 3 body paragraphs instead of 2. Okay, so the question hopefully makes sense. Basically what it's saying, when people get hired for jobs or when they get interviewed for jobs, some people, some employers, so people who interview them, ask them personal questions, right? Such as, are you married? Are you single? Do you have kids? Some people think that it's okay to ask those types of personal questions, and other people think that it's not okay. So basically you just have to give 2 views. So one that it's okay, so that's the plus here, one that it's not okay, and then you give your own personal opinion. Okay, I always say it's safer to be in the middle, okay, and that's the position that I'm going to take here today. So first idea, I'm just going to lower the size here because the font is huge. Okay, so the first idea that I had, it was that if an employer does ask these personal questions, it relieves tension, right? Because on interviews, everybody's nervous and they're trying to show their best. And if the employer asks them a personal question, then they can have maybe a connection, right? Not a romantic connection, but a connection that they can relate to something. For example, and then it's important to give examples, they have the same hobbies or interests, okay? And then, so that's the second idea. This one should be in here, okay? That's the first idea. This is the second idea. Just gonna make this bigger. There you go. Okay, so the negative ones, it can get too personal, right? There is a line. It can get too personal, right? There's some things that we don't want to talk about, some difficult experiences, something that we wouldn't normally share with a person that we don't know. So it can be hard for us to do that, right? For example, difficult life experiences, right? And then the biggest thing, it can become subjective, right? So what I mean by that, and when I'm writing the plan, you see I'm not writing full sentences. I'm just writing pinpoints, right? So that later on when I go back to it, I know exactly what I'm talking about, because I don't have a lot of time to make the plan. Usually it takes me about 45 seconds. I'm going slow right now because I'm showing you my thinking process. That's why it's taking more time. But usually it shouldn't take you more than 2 minutes. So it can get subjective. What I mean by that is, let's say the employer asks you something, let's say a political view or a religious view, and your views don't agree. They can dislike you just because of that. Although you may be qualified for the job, just because they don't like something about you, that may be the reason that they don't hire you, right? Had they not asked that personal question, you probably would have gotten the job. So it can get subjective, right? So it depends on the perceptions. So I'm just going to put down perceptions. There you go. And then my opinion is that there should be a balance of both. So what I mean, balance of both. So both objective, because when the employer doesn't ask personal questions, it can be objective, right? So balance of both objective and subjective judgment. Judgment. There we go. So subjective and objective judgment. And that creates a semi-formal atmosphere. So it makes sure that the person is comfortable enough to tell you about themselves and why they're qualified for the job, but it's also formal enough so that it doesn't sound like you guys are talking and like you guys are friends. And this pretty much concludes the plan, right? So because you're gonna have 3 body paragraphs, you can have 2 ideas per paragraph, right? If you only had 2 paragraphs, you would have probably need to have 3 ideas. So this is my plan, and we're going to use this for the rest of the essay, because this is basically my thinking tool. Without this, I wouldn't know what I'm writing. So all the thinking is down here, and now I have my ideas. Now the only thing left to do is to write, and then you guys can pause the video, make your own plan. These are just my ideas. You can have your own ideas. I hope this makes sense, and then I'll see you in my next video.